For as long as I could remember, I hated Christmas. It didn't seem logical. Nowhere does Christianity condone subduing ourselves to novelty items, false Thanksgivings. It's all a scam. Fraud. Fraudulent rhetoric, masked with fancy sales, bright, colorful lights, and all false, cheerful joy. Rhetoric, Christmas, all of it's a bunch of humbug.
Honey, they're having a Black Friday blowout at Aristotle's Arsenal. It must be something big. I've seen billboards everywhere.
Yes, I've been told. The whole street has been going on about what the big surprise could be.
Well, if it's causing such a stir, I'll be sure to get there bright and early on Friday morning.
So what exactly was it about Aristotle's ad that led you to condemn their taking advantage of a gullible audience?
It was quite smart, actually. To be fair, the ad was eloquently written. Rhetorically, it targeted the Aristotle shoppers and the susceptibility to the style and delivery of a message, despite being a false message. None of us knew their blowout sale was only on last season's quill pens. Buy one, get two free? I had never felt so betrayed in my life. It was the talk of the town, and we built our hopes up through each other's excitements. What could I have done? I waited in line like everyone else. It seemed like the smart thing to do.
What did you get, dear? Did you get a good deal on my payment set?
Well, let's say it wasn't worth all the hype. When I got there, Mr. Aristotle, he had this smirk on his face like he knew we were in for no big surprise.
Don't worry about my pigment set, honey. I can wait until Christmas. It's more important that you got the vellum for your new publishing house.
Well, I didn't even get that. You see that old Aristotle, he's a sly artist. These things are always arranged. Quintillion's quills. Buy one, get two pieces of rubbish for free.
What a horrible thing to do. Who would use such falsity in their words to persuade the innocent public into purchasing something so irrelevant?
Well, that's what these holiday specials do. They're ruthless in their rhetoric. They take advantage of a public's emotions and they stir it all through metonymy. It was then that I realized Christmas was not logical at all. It was a special time being taken advantage of. The stores and markets dress themselves up with false appeals and tempt our desires with emotion. Logically, the common man would have just bought what he needed and what he could afford, but rhetoric was a temptation to us all.
So where did your feelings about the falsities of Christmas take you next?
Well, I started to think about the language behind it, and how stores like Aristotle's Arsenal took advantage of how words can be interpreted.
It was almost as if rhetoric had turned you into the Scrooge you are today.
Scrooge? How dare you call me that?
My apologies, Mr. Ramus, but do you think that the rhetorical benefits reaped by the stores at your dispense have caused you to despise Christmas?
I'd say so. It was like the year I was invited to Locke and Campbell's house for Christmas dinner. I had just signed the two writers to a publishing contract, and they felt the need to repay me. At least the invitation made it seem that way.
Merry Christmas, Master Ramus. We are both so thankful for your publishing of our latest book.
Yes, sir. We're so happy you share such an enthusiasm in the philosophies of rhetoric.
Rhetoric, schmetoric. All that matters is the book's pre-sales are through the roof. You guys have me rolling in the dough. Well done, gents.
We're very happy for you, sir, but we were wondering, when might we get our cut?
What's the big rush, lad?
Well, sir, we'd like to invite you to Christmas dinner tomorrow, and being Christmas Eve, we thought we could get an advance on our pay to cover gifts and food.
Humbug. Utter humbug. An advance you'll get paid when you need to. Plus, the signing bonus should be enough.
But what about gifts for our children, sir?
They aren't my kids, are they?
I had become a real Scrooge, and it was only to get worse. When the boys left later that evening, I was closing up and found a letter addressed to myself in Campbell's handwriting. It was an invitation, or it appeared to be.
A man whom I did not know greeted me. He simply said, "Follow me." I was led to a room where Locke and Campbell sat waiting.
There was no dinner, was there?
Campbell proceeded to tell me they had signed a contract with a different publishing house, and were taking the rights to their new book with them. I lost thousands.
So what of the invitation, then?
It was only another way in which rhetoric stirs false emotions through effective language and emotional appeal. It gave me a sense of pride, or passion, knowing these boys wanted to honor all I did for them that Christmas.
But you were screwing them over.
Nonsense! 70-30 was a fair price in those days, but they were smarter than I thought. They were able to harness the effect of a word's meaning and repurpose it towards building certain emotions within their audience. It's why I say rhetoric is verbal mind control. It targets us all. It doesn't work off truths and facts. It masks those with emotional appeal and social interaction. If there's truth behind Santa flying the globe each and every year and delivering toys to each and every girl and boy, then call me Machiavelli and have me a sword in the courtroom.
I don't get it though. What was it about the pair looking for a better deal and their interest that makes rhetoric so false?
It has nothing to do with what they wanted. It involves how rhetoric forces people to perceive words in the manner the author chooses. We're forced to follow these contexts and see it all as truth. Remember that old radio jingle for Foucault's farm? Power to the pig, the truth is here, the more ham you have, the better your feast appears, blah blah blah.
I can't say that I do.
Honey, we have to get a Foucault ham this year. It would really show we made it to all our new upper-class snot buddies.
Are you mad, woman? Don't fall for such a scam. A ham is a ham. I may be rich, but I'm not getting gypped. Though that catchy phrase does have you speaking in tongue.
But it's Christmas, dear.
Humbug. Christmas isn't about power and wealth. Corrupt society and rhetorical ploys have only made it appear so. Just because that farmer Foucault says we should embrace the power struggle of social statuses and buy his 20-shilling ham, doesn't mean that we should go out and eat whatever he gives us. I mean, how can you believe that buying a ham from him is any different from the 5-shilling ham we had last year?
The jingle, though, and their farm.
I don't need rhetorical alignments between symbols of power and society to prove that I'm wealthy. Just look at my name. I'm Petrus Ramus, the greatest philosopher and publisher there is. It's all about the bacon, never about the science that butchers or shoemakers and all other shop owners try to use. If they would just be more dialectic than rhetoric, we wouldn't have to worry about the power of a flashy TV ad or a radio jingle.
I guess you're right. You are so clever. Not to fall for these slick rhetorics and con artists.
Yeah.
Ha! I'm high enough in stature myself. I don't need rhetorical alignments between symbols of power and society to prove that I'm wealthy. Just look at my name.
It really seems as though your condemning of rhetoric has helped you to have better Christmases. There was no joy, no giving, barely any good food. I guess that's what Christmas is all about then, huh?
You've got that right. Being a Scrooge sure does help you combat the sin in rhetoric. They think it's all about gifts and glamour.
Well, not necessarily, though. They're trying to spread the Christmas cheer.
Christmas what? Have you not heard my stories? Have you not seen the disappointment behind Christmas? It is riddled with false impressions, driven by social status, and based upon ambiguity. It is only a reason for the average Joe to employ the devil's working of rhetoric. If it were a logical Christmas, we'd all be wheeling and dealing in precision and numbers, not bothering with emotion and only looking at the facts. Everyone wants to make money. That's why I celebrate Christmas as a Scrooge.
So that's it then, because you've been hard done by rhetoric, or should I say Christmas, you've condemned its divinity or essence?
Ah, humbug, you simpletons in your holidays. I've got gold to count and rhetoricians to condemn.
Well, thank you, Ramus, for that lovely look at Christmas cheer and the many uses of rhetoric. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Aristotle's Arsenal After Christmas Blowout Sale, with sales on quills and so much more, but probably just quills. Come on down today for some great deals.